All right, so yeah, it's that time again. WB Wednesdays are officially back, and honestly, I don't think I've ever been more excited for one. Because this time, it's not just any random mini event. This is one of those weeks where Miro himself jumps into the game, does his classic admin abuse, gives away a bunch of spins, and starts hyping up everything that's coming next. And if you've ever been around last week's W Wednesdays, you already know. This is the day when everyone logs in. So yeah, in case you somehow missed the announcement, today is W Wednesdays, which in simple terms means it's a chill mini event hosted by Miro, where he admin abuses whole server, give out free stuff, and tease upcoming updates or reworks. And if you're new to the game or haven't been part of one before, trust me, you don't want to skip this one. Now, for anyone who didn't catch the last W Wednesdays, let me give you a quick recap of what went down. Last time, Miro literally showered the community with rewards. He gave out 16 lucky spins and 20 Halloween spins, which is absolutely wild. And if you've ever used those Halloween spins, you already know they were basically better than lucky spins in every way. The drop rates were higher, the rewards were rarer, and people were actually pulling mythics and limiteds back to back. So yeah, those Halloween spins were legendary. And now that the Halloween event is officially over, we obviously won't be getting those specific tokens anymore. But that just means something new is taking their place. From what I can tell, Miro's probably going to give us at least 30 to 35 lucky spins. Maybe even more if he feels generous today. And considering how these W Wednesdays usually go, it could easily end up being closer to 40 or even 50 if the servers stay stable and the event goes on long enough. Because remember, this isn't some random update reward, this is admin abuse. When Miro hosts one of these, the entire point is to have fun and go overboard. He's not following any set limit. He can literally give even styles, at least I hope, drop bonuses, and mess around with players in real time. That's why everyone calls it admin abuse, because it's literally the dev having fun in the live server while giving out a ton of free rewards. And before we go deeper into what's expected today, let me quickly remind you what Miro himself said when he first introduced WBU Wednesdays. He described it as, "It's something where I can interact with y'all, give stuff out, hype up the game, and just chill." And that perfectly sums it up every Wednesday as a mix of chaos, fun, and hype. Sometimes it's a smaller event where he just drops a few rewards and hangs out for an hour. Other times it turns into this full community party with spin giveaways, early reveals, sneak peeks, and random surprises. That's what makes every single one of them unique. You never know exactly what you're going to get. And that's exactly why I said earlier that even though this is a mini event, it's one of the most important days for players. Because aside from the spins and the rewards, these W Wednesdays are where Miro usually starts talking about upcoming updates, and especially about the next reworks. So if you've been waiting for info on the Bachira rework, this is the stream or event where we might finally get our first sneak peek. Now, let's talk about why this specific W Wednesdays feels more special than usual. Because yeah, the Halloween event just ended, and we've been getting teases for the next two big updates. The Battle Pass update, and then the double Bachira rework that's planned for next week. So this W Wednesdays is landing right in the middle of those two. And that timing, that's not random. That's Miro's way of keeping the hype alive because he knows people are waiting. The Halloween event's done, everyone's farming less, and we're all just kind of hanging around, waiting for new content. So what better way to fill that gap than with a free spin giveaway and a community mini event? That's what I love about these sessions. They're like a bridge between updates. They keep players excited, active, and engaged even when there's no major patch. And it's honestly smart, because even though this isn't a full update, Miro still manages to keep the community energy high. Now, in terms of rewards, here's what we can probably expect today. Based on last time, like I said, we got 16 lucky spins and 20 Halloween spins. That's a total of 36 spins. And that was during a seasonal event. Now, since Halloween's done and all the leftover tokens are gone, it's safe to say this one will focus entirely on lucky spins. So if I had to predict, I'd say somewhere between 30 to 40 lucky spins minimum. And if Miro really wants to top himself, maybe even 50. Because you gotta remember, these W Wednesdays aren't about being balanced, they're about being fun. They're chaotic, random, and sometimes straight up broken in the best way possible. And since this week doesn't have a full update, I could totally see Miro compensating by making this W Wednesday a big one. He might even spawn random items, emotes, host minigames, or do giveaways live. Like, in the past, he's randomly handed out limited cosmetics or event tokens just to surprise people, so don't be shocked if something unexpected happens today. Now, I also want to mention something that a lot of players overlook about these W Wednesdays. They're not just for the rewards, they're also for testing new systems behind the scenes. Miro uses these events to test how the servers handle item drops, how reward distributions scale, and even how players react to new ideas. So if you start seeing weird temporary items or placeholder text or small icons showing up, that's not a bug, that's intentional. It means he's testing something. And that's usually a good sign because it means the next big update is closer than we think. So yeah, if you notice anything weird during the event, take screenshots. It might be your first look at something that's coming next week or even later this month. Now let's talk about the actual update, the Battle Pass, where I talked about it in the previous video. So if we go into a few words, it's going to be the same as Halloween Battle Pass, at least what we can expect. We are going to get a lot of spins, especially in premium tier and some cosmetics, emotes. So yeah, credit where it's due. Miro knows how to keep his player base engaged. Now let's talk a bit about what we might hear from him today in terms of future updates. And we already talked about Battle Pass, so let's talk about the Double Bachir rework next week. So it's very likely that during today's W Wednesdays, Miro will talk about both. Maybe even show some sneak peeks or give us small hints about what's in the new pass. He did that last time too, where he teased the Halloween rewards before they actually dropped. So there's a good chance he'll do something similar again. And since the Bachira rework is such a big deal, 2 versions both being redesigned, I wouldn't be surprised if he even shows a short clip or screenshot of the new moves. Maybe a cutscene preview or even just a look at the animation progress. That's the kind of stuff he likes to tease during W Wednesdays. So yeah, if you're into leaks or early reveals, you definitely don't want to miss this one. So yeah, if you were planning to skip today or thought it was just a small filler event, don't. Because if history repeats itself, this W Wednesdays will easily be one of the biggest free spin giveaways since Halloween, and who knows? Maybe we'll even get a few surprises along the way. If you can, log in early, make sure you've got your spin slots ready, and just enjoy the chaos. Anyway, that's all for today's video. I'll be covering everything that happens in the event. How many spins we get, what Miro says about future updates, and whether we get any new sneak peeks. So if you missed the event or just want the full recap, make sure you're subscribed. I'll have it ready as soon as it ends. Alright, that's it for now. Enjoy your W Wednesdays, good luck with the spins, and let's hope Miro goes crazy with the admin abuse again. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.